Right, this gearbox is for David at Warrington. I'm just waiting for him to waiting for you, David, to call me back, and we can discuss the gearbox with yourself. You're getting what you get in this gearbox. You're getting front and rear new bearings. You're getting a new tail shaft bearing. You're getting a new input shaft caged roller bearing. You're getting 50 new needle rollers. You're getting 6 new ball bearings and springs for your synchro hubs, both synchro hubs, first and second and third and fourth synchro hubs. You're getting a new lay shaft. You've got an option, which I give all my customers an option. It's entirely up to you. This gearbox came in with a really bad reverse idler. So I've got a used reverse idler from stock. It's got a good bearing in it. It's not showing any major signs of wear. It's obviously showing signs of some use, but it's acceptable. It's not one that couldn't be used. But I've got several brand new ones. But obviously, if I have to replace an idler, I've got to charge the same price as what I buy it in for. And I think at the moment these are about 55 quid, maybe 58 quid. I just can't remember. I've bought 3 in just recently, but the different prices. One from Rimmer, and I think 2 from Moss, but they're both different prices. But anyway, I've got a new one. Should you choose to have a new one in, that's entirely up to you. That's an option you've got, or you can go with the good used one, what I've got there anyway. You're getting, apart from those new parts, obviously what I've just explained to you, you're also getting new synchro rings, balk rings, whatever you want to call them. The rest of the gearbox components are just pretty standard. They're not showing any signs of wear. You've got a good third gear. It's not showing hardly any signs of wear. Actually, third and fourth gear. The fourth gear is on the input shaft anyway. Third gear is, they don't often show signs of wear because you're up to speed. The gearbox is warm and they slip into third and fourth quite easily. The only time you have a problem with these gearboxes is when the springs break, the synchro hub springs break. They jump out of third gear and people force them in and they crack the teeth and things. So this is a good third gear. You've got a good synchro hub, third and fourth synchro hub. It's got a good slider. That'll have the springs in. New springs and balls bearings stops it from jumping out of gear. That slides in very good. You never really get much wear on that synchro hub. You've got a second gear, which is a really good second gear. Not showing any signs of wear at all. The teeth are all good on it, so I'm happy to use that. And the synchro hub, first and second synchro hub, you said yours is growling, but I don't know. Without looking at it, I can't say. This is a good synchro hub, and obviously when it's had the new springs and things in, it won't be jumping out of gear. It slides nice and easy, so that's good to go. You've got a good first gear, really good first gear. There's no problem with that. I'm happy to use that first gear, and you've got a really good cluster gear. These are difficult to get now if you can find them. They're very, very difficult to get. This is A1. I would class this as A1 condition. It's as good as what you'll ever get apart from a new one. So I'm happy to use that in your gearbox. I've given you the option of the reverse gear. That's entirely your choice. Now, the rest of the gearbox components, the thrust washers that go on the end of the cluster gear, they're all good. They're not showing any signs of wear. I'm happy to use those again. I'm happy to rebuild the gearbox with the components that I've shown you, and it'll be a good gearbox. I don't repaint the tail shafts because they were never painted when they left the factory, and I like to try and keep things as original as possible. And I think it would spoil it if you want to paint it. You can paint it yourself. Your case has already been prepped and it's ready to go. I've got several cases. I'm not stuck for gearbox cases. I've got cases all over. They've all been prepared ready. They've just got different years on them, and I like to try and match the case up to the gearbox that's in the car to try and keep everything as original as possible. John assured me that this gearbox came out of his car, which was a 1980 car. So I'm happy to put that in. That's actually it'll probably be the same case as you've got in yours. Now I'd like to discuss with you about the exchange gearbox, David, simply because if you're going to take the engine out of the car and get the gearbox to replace with this, you could bring your gearbox with you when you came, and that would be an option for you, or we can discuss the arrangements for this gearbox should you wish to proceed with it. You've got my contact details, I'm quite sure. But that's my card, and that's how you can get me on email. So yeah, I hope you've watched all my YouTube videos, because to show you that I do. I try and make a video for everybody I build a gearbox for, well, where possible. Some people don't want the video showing, so I don't post it. But this is your video. If you want it, to be posted, I'll post it. If you don't, I'll keep it just between yourself. So radio, there you go, David.